The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. Part 2. Private Victory. Chapter 8. Habit 3. Put first things first. This chapter focuses on Covey's third habit. Put first things first. Covey argues that to be effective, we must focus on the most important things rather than the urgent ones. Many people spend most of their time reacting to the demands of the moment instead of focusing on things that are really important to them. Covey maintains that to achieve private victory, we must be proactive in managing our time and focus on tasks that are truly important to us. The author uses the concept of a time matrix to help readers distinguish between what is important and what is urgent. The time matrix is a tool that divides our tasks into 4 categories: important and urgent, important but not urgent, not important but urgent, and not important and not urgent. Covey argues that our priorities should be focused on important but not urgent tasks. These are tasks that contribute to our long-term goals but do not have an imminent deadline. Covey suggests that to focus on important but not urgent tasks, we must adopt a principle-based approach to time management. This approach focuses on our priorities and how we can use our time to achieve our long-term goals. Covey suggests that we should set clear goals, establish specific action plans, and allocate time in our schedule to work on these tasks. The author also emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and self-management to achieve the third habit. Covey suggests that we must learn to say no to tasks that are not important to us and set clear boundaries on our time and attention. By doing so, we can focus on tasks that are truly important and make our time more productive. Finally, Covey argues that to achieve private victory, we must be willing to make short-term sacrifices to achieve our long-term goals. This may mean dedicating time and energy to tasks that are not urgent but are important to our personal and professional growth. By doing so, we can achieve a sense of lasting achievement and satisfaction instead of simply meeting the demands of the moment. In summary, Chapter 8 highlights the importance of Covey's third habit: put first things first. Covey argues that to be effective, we must focus on the most important things rather than the urgent ones and adopt a principle-based approach to time management. The time matrix is a useful tool to distinguish between what is important and what is urgent, and helps us focus on important but not urgent tasks. Self-discipline and self-management are essential to achieve the third habit, and we must be willing to make short-term sacrifices to achieve our long-term goals. By doing so, we can achieve a sense of lasting achievement and satisfaction instead of simply meeting the expectations of others or seeking short-term gains. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. Part 3. Public Victory. Chapter 9. Habit 4. Think win-win. The 4th habit, think win-win, is part of the Public Victory section of Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In this chapter, Covey introduces the concept of win-win as a philosophy that allows individuals to seek solutions that benefit all parties involved in a situation, rather than seeking a victory at the expense of others. Covey argues that the win-lose mentality, where one person wins and the other loses, or the lose-win mentality, where one person sacrifices themselves so that the other can win, is not sustainable in the long term, and instead, a solution that benefits all parties involved should be sought. Covey mentions that the win-win mentality is not a quick fix, but requires a change in thinking and acting. The author suggests that the win-win mentality is based on the following elements: 1. A high level of mutual trust among the parties involved. 2. A focus on shared interests rather than positions. 3. Open and honest communication. And 4. The creation of options that benefit all parties involved. Covey asserts that the win-win mentality is particularly important in situations where interdependence is high, such as in business, personal relationships, and leadership. When the parties involved work together to find mutually beneficial solutions, a foundation of trust and mutual respect is created that can last in the long term. The author also mentions that the win-win mentality is not always easy to achieve and may require compromises and sacrifices from all parties involved. However, the end result is a benefit to all parties involved and a result that is not only effective in the short term but also sustainable in the long term. Covey also discusses other approaches that are often used in situations of interdependence, such as the win-lose mentality, the lose-win mentality, and the lose-lose mentality. These approaches, according to Covey, often result in suboptimal or even harmful solutions for all parties involved. In conclusion, Habit 4, Think Win-Win, is about seeking mutually beneficial solutions in situations of interdependence rather than seeking a victory at the expense of others. Covey argues that this mentality requires a high level of mutual trust, a focus on shared interests, open and honest communication, and the creation of options that benefit all parties involved. If applied correctly, Habit 4 can create a foundation of trust and mutual respect that is sustainable in the long term. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, Part 3, Public Victory, Chapter 10. Habit 5, Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit 5, Seek first to understand, then to be understood, focuses on effective communication and the ability to listen and understand others before trying to make ourselves understood. Covey argues that many people try to be understood without first making an effort to understand others, which results in a lack of communication and misunderstandings. The author describes a series of obstacles that hinder effective communication, such as autobiography, assuming that others see things the same way we do, projection, assuming that others feel the same way we do, and the attitude of listening with the intent to reply, instead of listening with the intent to understand. Covey argues that the key to overcoming these obstacles is to adopt a win-win mindset, which means seeking mutually beneficial solutions instead of seeking victory at the expense of others. This involves actively listening, asking open-ended questions, seeking to understand the feelings and needs of others, and then communicating our own needs clearly and concisely. The author also highlights the importance of empathy in effective communication. To be a good communicator, we must be able to put ourselves in the shoes of others and see things from their perspective. Covey describes 3 levels of empathy: physical empathy, caring about the physical well-being of others; emotional empathy, feeling what others feel; and spiritual empathy, understanding the beliefs and values of others. Habit 5 focuses on the need to listen first before speaking, to understand before being understood. Covey emphasizes that to communicate effectively, we must pay attention not only to words but also to gestures, facial expressions, and other nonverbal cues. We must also be willing to ask open and clear questions, and demonstrate that we are willing to understand others before trying to be understood. In conclusion, Habit 5 is about effective communication and empathy. To be a good communicator, we must be willing to listen and understand others before trying to make ourselves understood. We must adopt a win-win mindset, seek mutually beneficial solutions, and put ourselves in the shoes of others to see things from their perspective. Empathy is essential for effective communication, and we must pay attention not only to words but also to gestures and other nonverbal cues.